Good evening, race fans, and thank you for tuning in for what is sure to be a fierce battle between some of Autobahn's finest drivers. This is round 5 of 6 in the 2021 iRacing Series, and the competition is at a fever pitch. With high hopes and even higher RPMs, we head to the land of the rising sun, Suzuka, Japan, for this next race, where these drivers will duke it out at the internationally famous Suzuka circuit. Suzuka is truly one of the world's greatest racetracks. Home to the Japanese Grand Prix since the 1980s, its flowing layout regularly puts it atop of drivers' favorite lists. Typically, the F1 season finale, Suzuka has crowned some of racing's elite. It is also known for the controversial F1 incident involving Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost. Not to be limited just to F1, Suzuka also hosted a non-championship NASCAR race way back in 1996 and 97, back during NASCAR's heyday. The track was primarily built as a Honda test track in 1962 and features a number of notable challenges, including the daunting high-speed S's of turns 3 through 7, the multi-apex spoon curve, and the infamous high-speed left-hander 130R, cleverly named after its 130-degree radius. At just over 3.6 miles, this track surely will be a challenge for these Autobahn drivers. As we look to our screens right now, we are seeing the drivers in their qualifying session. Tonight, they will be qualifying for 10 minutes, quickly followed by a 50-minute race. And in the upper left-hand corner, you will see the time for qualifying. Up there, we're at 2 minutes and 40 seconds out of an allotted 10 minutes. And you will also see the current leaderboard as the drivers head out on track for their opening qualifying laps. My name is Kyle Nato. I am going to be your host here for this race. Welcome to the Autobahn iRacing Series. If you are just joining us, grab your favorite cocktail, sit back, relax. This is going to be an exciting race for sure. Right now, we are taking a look at the neon green and yellow of the number 28, Brian Helmentoller, who has been a hard charger in this series. He's kind of a late entry, getting started with the iRacing program, but has definitely proven his worth in the past few races, scoring very well at the last race. And now we're taking a look at number 26 of Samuel Bowman, the son of Scott Bowman, as the cameraman starts to jump around, taking a look at the most exciting action out on track. And it looks like the camera's favoring the 28 and 26 of Bowman and Helmentoller. So we also have a live chat going on as well, so feel free to type your comments into the chat section on the side of your screen. Love to hear any questions or comments that you may have. If you're curious about iRacing, we'd love to have you join us. And there is the number 99 of Connor Willis, which is our current iRacing champion, but also we'll see fairly soon the number 9 of Jensen Benet, who is definitely nipping at the heels of Connor Willis. These two drivers have been battling it out, and number 61 of Mike Anzaldi taking a little agricultural excursion going through those infamous Suzuka gravel traps as he gets himself back out on track. Mike Anzaldi, no stranger to the Radical platform. We're going to be talking about this very unique race car coming up throughout the race, but they will be racing the Radical SR8. So a very powerful car with high downforce capabilities. It's sure to be an exciting race to be watching. So we're just about 5 minutes into the 10-minute qualifying session. As we check the leaderboard, looks like Brian Helmentoller is currently out on top with his fastest lap time. As these drivers are starting to get settled in, they're going to be warming up their tires and their brakes. This is a very challenging track here. And it looks like Connor Willis has moved into the top spot with a fastest lap of 1:58. But also Samuel Bowman as well. Also duking it out as trying to get pole position here. And there again is the number 61 of Mike Anzaldi sliding his car around. He is known to do that in qualifying, but he puts his game face on as soon as the green flag flies. So definitely one to watch. I believe Anzaldi is currently in third place for the championship, and he's looking to score some points to put him on the top podium. So again, this is the 5th out of 6 races, and so it's still anyone's championship. But definitely the top 3, Connor Willis, Jensen Benet, and Mike Anzaldi, are going to be fighting for these points. And there is the number 4 red and black of Mitch Graybiel, taking the long way around. Quickly followed by Anzaldi in that blue Wrangler car. That's a unique scheme that he's got going on. Wonder if that car's sponsored or not by Wrangler. Okay, got just under 2 minutes remaining in our qualifying session. And there's a great shot of Mitch Graybiel out in front of Mike Anzaldi. And unfortunately, Mitch spins, taking out Anzaldi. It's a good thing that this is just qualifying now. Both drivers have put down pretty fast laps. But they're going to get restarted and headed back out on track. All right, as we look, Jensen Benet moves into pole position with the fastest lap of 1:57.8. Connor Willis trailing with a 1:58.1, so just mere tenths of seconds separating the pole position from second place. And Jensen Benet in that white and blue car, another very unique color scheme going on. So it's going to be fun to watch all these beautiful radicals racing around at this very famous Suzuka racetrack. All right, and it looks like qualifying time has elapsed, which means these drivers are going to get set here in just a few moments as they finish up their laps. As we are just moments away from going green. This will be a rolling start, but as we wait, let's talk a little bit more about these fantastic Radical SR8s that these drivers will be racing in the Autobahn favorite car, definitely, since we have over 70 Radicals on property. Uh, this automotive missile, this one in particular features a 3-liter V8 engine producing over 440 horsepower with a top speed nearly approaching 200 miles an hour. For those uninitiated, 200 miles an hour, you are traveling a football field every second. But where this car truly shines is in its handling. The massive downforce this car produces will definitely help these drivers keeping it on track. As we see the number 99 snap-on car of Connor Willis right there in your shot, coming down that big long straightaway, probably approaching close to 200 miles an hour right there. Fast left-hander as he is just full throttle, as you can hear these engines revving all the way up to their red line. Now, the SR8 differs from the more common Autobahn SR3 by replacing the Hayabusa motorcycle engine with that thunderous V8, allowing for more low-end grunt and overall high speeds. Looks like everybody's wrapping things up, and our top three is Jensen Benet in that number 9. I know his screen name says Sean, but it's actually Jensen Benet. Right next to him on the outside is going to be number 99, the current points champion of Connor Willis. In third place is that neon car of Brian Helmentoller. Mitch Graybiel and Samuel Bowman are going to be rounding out the 4th and 5th positions as well. All right, now some fun facts about Suzuka. As we are getting set for the green flag, this will be a rolling start. There is our Porsche pace car. As these drivers quickly appear, there is Connor Willis on the outside, Brian Helmentoller in that neon green, Mitch Graybiel in the red and black, and there is another red and black car. We'll have to see the racing number for that one. And it looks like we are just waiting on Jensen Benet to appear. All right, we are just moments away, folks. This is going to be an exciting race. All right, Jensen is in position. These drivers are already revving up those thunderous V8s, waiting for the pace car to release them out on track. Oh boy. All right. As we get the track map in place, this way you can follow along with your favorite driver, see exactly where they are out on track. All right. Suzuka, very famous racetrack, again, known for its Formula One antics. We are running the Grand Prix course, which features 18 turns, so a very technical track. Not a very high speed track, but like I mentioned before, one of the driver's favorites are the S's, the spoon turn, and also 130R. So you are going to see it here. And this track is one of the very few figure eight tracks. It actually doubles back on itself um, using a bridge. So very unique. That is because of the small footprint that the racing circuit has to work with. All right, as they come down the straightaway, pace car has pulled in, and the green flag flies. They are off. Jensen Benet with a fantastic start, pulling away from Connor Willis as he slides right into the braking zone. Fast right-hander. It is Jensen Benet and Connor Willis trailing behind, and also Brian Helmentoller in fourth, and Mike Anzaldi looking to the inside of Helmentoller. Can't make that pass, going through 1 and 2. Now they're coming up through the S's. Very tricky, very fast. You have to know your breaking points, and it looks like Jensen, who has been working feverishly on learning this track, has been doing very well for himself as he starts pulling away from Connor Willis. But again, this is a 50-minute race, so it's anybody's race for now. As the pack is starting to thin out already, and we're not even into lap 1 just yet. And Mike Anzaldi able to pass Brian Helmentoller as Jensen Benet unfortunately swings wide, hard on the brakes, and just couldn't make the turn. Connor Willis moves into the first place, and Mike Anzaldi currently in second. We're going to see if Jensen can recover from that slight mistake, but that one cost him big, dropping back 2 spots. All right, here they come down the start-finish line again. Connor Willis with a fastest lap time of 2:01. Not as good as he had in qualifying, but it is good enough for first place. And Jensen Benet already making up ground and quickly catching up behind Mike Anzaldi of the number 61 car. Let's jump on board with Jensen Benet and see what he sees. Look at that beautiful view right there. This is the same view that Jensen has, and he is looking right at the tailpipes of Mike Anzaldi. You can see Anzaldi working the brakes and the throttle at the same time, trying to use all of the racetrack hard. A little bit of lockup there from Jensen in this tight hairpin left-hander as he gets right back on the throttle. You can see him shifting up through the gears just brutally fast in these radicals as he is making up ground on Anzaldi. We're going to look at Anzaldi's view as Connor Willis, smooth and fast, is still having a very large gap between first and second place, about 1.9 second of a gap. So Connor Willis have done very well for himself in this first couple of laps here. Only 3 minutes have a little over 3 minutes have expired in this 50-minute race. And if you look in the upper right-hand corner, you can follow along on the track map, see where exactly these drivers are. Now we are up in the chopper as we watch Jensen Benet closing that gap right there. And it looks like he's going to swing to the outside going into turn 1. And Mike Anzaldi able to fend him off, but getting a little squirrely in the process. Jensen very smooth through there, shows just what a tactician he really is behind the wheel as they come through this fast S's. Very fun part of the track. Look at that, just left, right, really sawing at the wheel. And Anzaldi still able to hold off the oncoming pressure of Jensen Benet. We're going to jump on over, see how Mitch Graybiel is doing in that red and black car. He's currently sitting in 4th place. And right behind him is Brian Helmentoller. So this is going to be another great battle going on. There is Graybiel in the red and black. And this is looking out of the gearbox of Mitch Graybiel, a very unique view. And you can see the hard-charging Helmentoller barreling down. And it looks like Graybiel made a mistake and unfortunately goes off track, and Brian Helmentoller just passes him right by. Let's see if we can review that, as we've got our fancy replay system here through our iRacing. I'm going to go ahead and play. We'll take a look at our blimp, and it looks like he just locked up the brakes and unfortunately just went too deep into that corner. So, unfortunate luck for Graybiel as we get back into it. And wow, it looks like Anzaldi has managed to get around Jensen Benet. So not quite sure what happened there. Jensen doesn't seem too happy about it, as he is right all over Anzaldi. Now, Mike Anzaldi in that blue number 61 car, I think I mentioned this before, but he is no stranger to the Radical, since he races the SR3s at Autobahn Country Club. Jensen Benet is a previous Autobahn karting champion in our Ignite series, and has recently gotten into racing Spec Miatas. So a lot of experience from young Jensen Benet, and also a, dare I say, slightly older Mike Anzaldi. So this is going to be fun. We're going to be watching these two battle it out. But we're going to jump on over to, oh boy, look out. That is Connor Willis and the number 4 of Mitch Graybiel. Looks like Willis needs to get around some lap traffic of Graybiel, which he finally does, as Mitch kind of hangs to the side and lets Willis pass. And let's see if Mitch does the same thing for the rest of the competitors. Now, it would be advantageous for Mitch to kind of hang out. Oh, nope, it looks like both Anzaldi and Benet were able to get around Graybiel. And it looks like Jensen Benet also making a move, and a successful move around Anzaldi. So these guys are just trading positions like hot potato back and forth. But Jensen Benet slides into the 2nd spot behind Connor Willis. As the lap times are starting to decrease, Connor Willis has been picking up the pace with a 159.2, but Jensen Benet just 0.2 of a second behind with a 159.4. And also, Mike Anzaldi practically matched that his fastest, Jensen's fastest lap time with a 159.4 as well. So some great driving between all of these drivers. And, oh, Anzaldi looking to the inside as Jensen Benet leaves the door open, but Anzaldi was not able to capitalize. So this is going to be interesting, folks. We still got 40 minutes left of racing, so I don't know about you, but I'm having fun just watching this. All right. Now let's add a little bit of color here. We're going to jump over to that neon car of Helmentoller. Currently in fourth place with a fastest lap time of 2:05. Looks like he's sitting pretty and really getting that car dialed in. Brian Helmentoller used to race a Radical. He also races go-karts every once in a while. He is probably one of the funnest rallycross drivers that we've had at Autobahn, definitely given lots of people rides. And as we say, he has been sending it in his rally car. But spoke to Brian Helmentoller just a few weeks ago. He is looking at building a GT car. So we are looking forward to seeing him back on track in a proper race car. So Brian Helmentoller, and it looks like unfortunately just got passed by our current leader, 99 of Connor Willis. So that puts him one lap down. And here comes Jensen Benet and also Mike Anzaldi. So Jensen Benet, oh, was that a little love tap pushing Helmentoller off? Couldn't really tell if, but it kind of looked like Jensen did give him a little love tap, and it's one way to say excuse me. But that could also hurt Benet's car if you damage that front aero, providing less downforce, and that could cost him in the long run as he battles it out with Anzaldi. So, if you guys are enjoying this live stream, I encourage you to share this. Oh boy, share this with your friends. Uh, share it with your friends. Tell them about it. We would definitely love more viewership on our YouTube channel, and this way you get to hang out with your buddy Kyle too, as well. And you know what? That's pretty nice too. Oh boy, Anzaldi looking to the inside of turn one. Oh, very tricky right-hander. You got to be hard on the brakes right at the last second, but then back on the throttle, and then it is almost full throttle as you're just clapping away through the gears on that paddle shifter through the S's between turns 3 and all the way through 7. Now we're going to follow them along through turn 6, and pretty soon we'll be going over the bridge. All right, now into that treacherous hairpin where just watch Jensen. He is just going to stand on the brakes when he gets to it. Right there, and Anzaldi looking to sneak through. Can he pull it off, Anzaldi? No, Jensen Benet gets a whole shot and is able to keep out in front of Anzaldi, but Anzaldi right back at it again, takes it from the inside as they come around. This is that spoon corner, double apex right-hander. And Anzaldi's able to hold on to it, and he slides into second place. Well done, Mike Anzaldi. But don't count out Jensen Benet because he is hard charging right back to it. Here comes 130R, fast left-hander. Here they go, diving in. Benet all over the rear bumper and the diffuser of Anzaldi. In the last final corners, and now the big long straightaway where it seems that Jensen actually is able to pick up ground on Anzaldi as he's trying to use the draft coming down the start-finish line into turn one. And Anzaldi lives to fight another day, holding off Jensen Benet. And we're going to do it all over again. So, whole lot of action going on. And still a lot of race remains in this series. Uh, so now these drivers, Connor Willis's fastest lap is a 158.2. So he is steadily going faster and faster, opening up that gap, which is currently sitting at 3.8 seconds. Uh, Now, Suzuka, again, known for Formula One races, the current fastest lap was set by Lewis Hamilton of a 130.9. So about 28 seconds faster than these radicals. Granted, a radical versus a Formula One car, two completely different animals. However, a 130.9 is blazingly fast, as Lewis Hamilton set that back in 2019 in his Mercedes car. Now, also, Suzuka is not only known for these famous corners, but also for its party atmosphere. They actually have a section called Motopia, Mototopia, uh, and they have some of the most fanatical fans hang out in this area cheering on their favorite drivers. Also known for having a Ferris wheel right by the start finish line. So uh, when you come to a race at Suzuka, you're coming not only for great racing like you're seeing tonight, but also to sit back and have a good time and party it up with your fellow racing friends. Now, as we watch these two drivers battle it out, we'd like to talk about one of the corners, that 130R, which again is cleverly named after the 130-degree radius turn. Um, but it has been slightly modified over the past couple of years. And following two major accidents back in 2002 and 2003, safety became a top priority for that corner. So, well, and I think a lot of drivers still remember that in 2002, Alan McNish suffered a very high speed crash through the bump, which sent him through the metal guardrail fence. Although thankfully he was not seriously injured, that incident was foreshadowing for the 2020 incident with Roman Grosjean, as he also went through the guardrail as well. So, Formula One safety standards have been updated, and I personally believe the reason Roman Grosjean was able to walk away was because of the new Halo system, which was very controversial. But I think after that incident, more and more fans and drivers are accepting of the Halo system. So, uh, very unique crashes, but again, that happened way back almost 20 years ago. Um, when Alan McNish crashed out. Let's see. All right, as some of the drivers are making their way, um, looks like unfortunately Jensen Benet did make contact, and that caused a black flag for him. That's why you're not seeing him out on track. We're gonna see if iRacing is gonna let him enter back into the race or not. All right, and okay, we're working with Jensen Benet, going through the iRacing protocol to see if we can get him back out on track. Okay. So bear with us just 1 minute, folks, but definitely sit back, watch all the fun action. All right. Well, we return back to the racing action of the number 99. Connor Willis out in front with a 5.2 second gap over second place of the number 61, Mike Anzaldi. And third place is currently Mitch Graybeal, which is 1 lap down. Brian Helmentoller is 2 laps down. So, unfortunately, the Jensen Benet was disqualified, looks like, for that contact. And so he is unfortunately out of this race. That is definitely going to hurt him in the points for the championship, and is really going to be helping out Connor Willis, number 99, that we're seeing right there. So, but fear not, Jensen Benet, because there is one race left as we go from Suzuka, Japan. We're going to head back stateside to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for a 100 lap race. We call it the Autobahn 100 in the Indy cars. So we are looking forward to seeing Jensen Benet battle it out, and hopefully he can grab some much needed points in the championship. So right now, we are taking a look at Connor Willis and seeing what does so well, and that is just being fast and smooth. So here is, as the camera is starting to look around, we're going to jump on over and to Mike Anzaldi, currently in second place. And you are getting an in-car view of Mike Anzaldi. Now watch this. He's going to hit the brakes, turn in, and then turn in again. That's third gear all the way through there. Now watch him go through the S's. He's very fast through here. Looking for those curbs, using them to his advantage, getting that car set up exactly where he wants it to be. third gear. Now he's going to be climbing up from third gear into fourth gear. Hard on the throttle. Look at that right-hander, or left-hander. Now he's coming into the right-hander very quick. Just a slight lift off the throttle and underneath the bridge. And coming into the hairpin. Hard on the brakes. Turn in. Look through the corner. Back onto the power. Well done by Mike Anzaldi. Now he's going to be coming up to the spoon corner. There he comes. Breaking a straight line. One apex. Swing to the outside. Look for your second apex. There she is. Hang on to that steering wheel and back onto the power. Gaining speed, fifth gear. Going all the way up to sixth gear. Here comes 130R. Nearly flat out as Anzaldi takes it so smoothly. And then back onto the brakes, down into second gear for the right, left, right. And there we go, right across the start-finish line with Mike Anzaldi. All right, and still 5.8 seconds. Now 6.1 seconds separating first and second place. So Connor Willis, we'll talk about him for just a little bit. Connor is one of our karting members, but this winter in particular, he's really been focusing on his iRacing and also real life racing as well. Connor was recently down in Florida participating in the Lucas Oil Racing School, where they race Formula 1600s. So it was very fun to watch him on social media as he went down with a few other Autobahn youngsters, dare I say, and they were able to learn quite a bit from Lucas Oil schools. Now, Autobahn also has their own racing school, but due to these kids' age, they decided to go with Lucas Oil. And it definitely shows that what Connor has learned is paying off dividends right now in iRacing. But we are looking forward to him returning in go-karts when Autobahn opens back up in April 1st is our opening day. So just right around the corner, we are getting very excited for opening day. Can't wait to hear engines of all types revving up and being out on the 3.5 mile circuit known as Autobahn Country Club. Now, we also, like I've mentioned, have that go-kart track. Just a few years ago, Autobahn expanded that track from 0.3 of a mile to double to 0.6 of a mile go-kart track. And that is where we offer a ladder program for the future race car drivers of America. Starting at the age of 6, you can, once you become a member, you can come out, and I encourage you to go through the karting racing school or take a private lesson from the instructors down at the go-kart track, and then start participating in the member karting series, which is approved for anyone 6 and older. So we have classes from racing classes from 6 to 8 years old, and then 8 to 12, 12 to 15, and then 15 all the way up to 99 years old, if you'd like. Karting is a great way to get involved in motorsports, and it is one of the least expensive options, and but definitely one of the more fun ways to get involved in motorsports. So we have that, which again Connor has been taking advantage of. And then probably around Connor's age, maybe a little bit older. That's when you start to decide and you start looking at the big track. Now, you can certainly stay in karting. We encourage you to do that. But if you have a little bit more ambitious eyes, you can then start thinking about going into open wheel racing. We've got a wonderful Formula and Pro Mazda race series, or you can go into closed wheel, which I highly encourage drivers to look at the Spec Miata series that we have. So, but right now, Connor is showing why he is doing so well in our karting program and also in the virtual world as well. So, let's take a look around the block. There is Mike Anzaldi at number 61. He is just slipping from the pace. Again, a 6.9 seconds separate first and second place. But Mike Anzaldi is a figurehead at Autobahn Country Club. You'll see him tootling around at the track and also never shy to talk to people and just a good guy to get to know. Whole lot of racing experience and a lot of experience in these radicals as well. So now we're taking a look at Mitch Graybill. Unfortunately, it looks like he started going the wrong way, but Mitch is done. Mitch is actually a past karting champion as well, and he has also moved into racing Spec Miatas in our SM2 class. So Mitch Graybill, part of the Graybill family, which if you've ever gone down to the Autobahn kart track, I guarantee that you've probably met at least one Graybill. They are always down there willing to give a hand or offer advice for members and their guests. Very welcoming family. And Mitch has been traveling with the Margay Ignite Challenge series as well. So not only does he compete in the Autobahn karting series, the Spec Miata series, but he travels as well with Margay in their LO206 karting program. So Mitch currently in fourth place. Unfortunately, is 2 laps down, but a very solid lap time of 2:05.2. And look at that, folks. Could it be the number 6 of the number 9 of Jensen Benet? Is he able to get back out on track? No, unfortunately. That's just the leaderboard showing up. All right. We've got about 28 minutes remain in this 50-minute race. So it is still Connor Willis out in front, opening that gap to 7-second lead between first and second place. Now, Mike Anzaldi, currently our third place points leader in this 6-race championship. All right, very impressive still as the camera just loves that 99 blue and black Connor Willis car. Again, still pulling away even more from Mike Anzaldi, 7.3 seconds. Mike, not one to sit back and relax, but actually wouldn't be a bad race strategy for him, so he can get those second place points, make sure that he can stay competitive in the championship series. But like I said, if I know Mike, he is still hard charging forward and trying to catch up to Connor Willis. So Brian Helmenthaler moves into third place as his fastest lap time is a 2:02, but him and Mitch Graybill still 2 laps down. So still making forth an interesting race. And you know what? Why don't we just jump on board of Connor Willis and watch him take a lap? We're going to turn up that beautiful V8 noise. And let's see what Connor does so well. Alright, now I wish we could see the footwork of the driver right now as he just stomps on the brakes. Going through turn 11 of the hairpin. Going into turn 12. And here comes Spoon. Apex. Curbing. Apex, look at that, back on the throttle. Coming down into the crossover over that bridge. And just a slight lift. Look out, there's Mitch Graybill as he gets around him cleanly. Down into second gear. Oh, a little bit of a slide as he went down into first gear, causing those rear tires to lose traction. But Connor, with those fast hands, able to catch it and keep the car pointed in the proper direction. And that's just a blip of the throttle right there going through turn 1. Got to be oh so delicate with 440 horsepower right under your right foot. Can cause these lightweight cars. Now this car only weighs 1,900 pounds, so it does 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds. But again, with the massive amounts of downforce that these radicals can produce, really pushing the car down to the tarmac, and that gives you the level of confidence to go through these corners at such high speeds. So here we go. It's going to be another right-hander, and then again into that left-hand hairpin. Stomp on the brake. Down. Oh, he goes all the way down into first gear. And slingshots himself out of the hairpin. Back up to third, fourth gear. Very fast corners. So now these cars... So now these cars use a sequential gearbox, so they're not heel towing or, but they can actually just downshift by lifting the throttle and going through the gears that way. So unlike, oh, looks like Connor goes a little deep into that corner. But yeah, so got a question here asking if these drivers are heel towing, which they don't need to do. And actually, unfortunately, we were just having this conversation the other day that heel toe is kind of a lost art. Most drivers are no longer doing it, especially now going to these paddle shifters. That skill set has gone by the wayside, unfortunately. So, but these paddle shifters are just so fast as they clip through the gears. It's pretty much faster than any human can do it. Which some purists will say, you know, you lose that connection with the car. But I'd say right now, Connor Willis is definitely focused 100%, and he is in the zone with his car. All right, hairpin. We're gonna check on. We're gonna jump aboard, sitting in the passenger seat of Brian Helmetoller. Let's see what he's doing, as he is in third place. Like I said, Helmetoller is very comfortable in a radical, so he knows exactly what he's doing. Unfortunately, he did get bumped from behind by Jensen Benet, which caused Benet to have that black flag, and that's kind of what caused Helmetoller to slip back and unfortunately be lapped by his competitors. But look how fast he's going through that corner. Wow. Just little flicks of the wrist is all it takes for this go-kart-like handling car. All right, let's see how Brian handles the hairpin. He decides to stay in second gear. And whereas Connor Willis was all the way down in first gear, and Connor might have gotten a little bit of a better jump coming out of that corner. All right. And it looks like Connor Willis has gone into the pit. So this is going to make for an interesting race here. Like last time, let's see if we can take a look at pit lane and see. Let's see, there should be maybe Willis is already out of pit lane. So I did get a message saying that Connor had to pit up, and he is back out. So it's gonna have fresh fuel and tires, I believe. So let's see if he is able to. Yep, there he is. He's out. Let's see if he's gonna track down Mike Anzaldi. Now again, in these Radical SR8s, getting a couple of questions about the horsepower rating. These Radicals, unlike the Autobahn SR3s that use the motorcycle Hayabusa engine, these have a whole lot more horsepower. So it's a 3-liter V8 producing 440 horsepower. And since these cars only weigh 1,900 pounds, that means 0 to 60 will be easily reached in 2.3 seconds. So extremely fast cars. But again, as you can see, the downforce is what is helping these cars corner so quickly and take these corners at such high velocity. So, Connor Willis, we are looking at you right now, and we're looking for the number 61. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, you will see Willis coming down in the last 2 corners before the straightaway, whereas Anzaldi, actually, Mike Anzaldi might be in the pit. Let's see what he's doing. He is in the pit. So it is going to come down to, let's see. Okay, Anzaldi is headed back out on track, and it looks like Mitch Graybiel also was in pit lane as well. But where, oh where, there is Connor Willis and gets around Mike Anzaldi. Holy cow, coming out of pit lane. This is going to be exciting, folks. Now, there are, as you see in the upper left-hand corner, there's about 5 minutes remaining in this race, and things just are starting to heat up. So Anzaldi and Willis out in front due to pit stops. So it's gonna come down to who has the fresher tires and the faster line in these winding moments of this 50-minute race. I'm gonna jump on up to the Autobahn blimp as we see the gap between first and second place. Now Willis taking a bit more of a late apex approach on that hairpin, and that's causing him to be just slightly faster through that sector. All right, around, here's that big spoon. See how that works? Coming around that left-hander double apex. Through the trees. You can see this beautiful racetrack. And right over the bridge, there's 130R. And then hard on the brakes, down to first or second gear. I believe Connor uses first gear and Zaldi in second gear. See how that plays out for those two in those very slow corners. Back on the power, there's the start-finish line. As the minutes are winding down in this race. Very unique shot provided by the Autobahn blimp. And Anzaldi closing that gap through turn one. So Anzaldi definitely faster in the later sections of the track and going in through turn one. And you can tell the different styles of racing between these two drivers. Just exactly where they're placing the cars. Here they come now. Last time it appeared that Willis was faster through the hairpin. And that's what they're coming up to. It's going to be a quick flick to the right. Hard on the brakes. Willis with that late apex. And he's able to get the whole shot out of there. Back up to speed. But Anzaldi still right there. We're going to jump in the cockpit of Mike Anzaldi. Third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, just redlining that V8. Now this is where Anzaldi really starts to shine. Let's see if he can creep closer and closer to the tailpipe of Willis. Down into second gear, all over the rear end of Willis. Here we go. 0.3 of a second gap between first and second place. Can these drivers keep this pace up? Looking to the inside, not just yet. Mike is biding his time. All right, through the S's. Use all of the track. Use that curbing. Oh, Anzaldi very smooth there. You can hear just a little bit of tire noise as those tires are just scrubbing for all the cornering ability that they have in them. Onto the brakes. Flick to the right. Another right-hander. All right, Connor, this is your time right here. It's going to be a right-hander, hard onto the brakes. Anzaldi looking to the inside of the hairpin. Holy cow, folks. We're going to jump back into the blimp, and it looks like Connor is spun. So Anzaldi. All right, we're going to have to do a quick little instant replay here. Let's see exactly what happened. And there it is. Mike Anzaldi to the inside. Connor looking for that late apex and unfortunately gets on the power a little too early, causing him to spin. Oh, that is just unfortunate for Willis. Let's see if he can get back up to racing pace and catch up. And we're going to look in the upper right-hand corner. You see Anzaldi going through the final two corners, which Willis is at now. And by the clock in the upper left-hand corner, that was the checkered flag. So Mike Anzaldi with a last-minute pass coming out of the hairpin to take victory over Connor Willis. That folks, that was awesome to watch. Oh my God, that was fun. Great job by Mike Anzaldi. Connor Willis as phenomenal driving all day, and so just an absolute blast to watch. And this is why we want you to tell your friends to tune in, because of racing like this. Wow. All right, folks, thank you very much for watching and hanging out with us this evening. And again, join us in 2 weeks on March 22nd, Tuesday night at 7 p.m. We will be featuring the Autobahn 100, a 100-lap race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and that is where we are going to crown the Autobahn iRacing champion. So tune in Tuesday, March 22nd. We will see you there. Thank you very much, folks. Have a good night.